Hey guys, so electrical issue Cummins 24 valve 5.9 in a Madill 1800. So um been chasing an intermittent issue for quite a while, and we the parts shortage that we're dealing with Cummins. There's a lot of times I'll come out here, I'll work on it, I'll mess around with it, it would work just fine, it'd go back to work. Finally we ordered a crank sensor for it. We had to wait for it to show up. Then we also ordered a pigtail to put the new pigtail in it. Operator put a pigtail in it, and it wouldn't come out of it. It just stayed with codes, showing a red stop engine on the dash, and not a yellow amber. But in the computer in Cummins Insight, we're showing an amber for a 115 crank sensor, which is just right. We've been messing with the crank sensor. Customer put the pigtail in, double checking the wires connected correctly, and come to find out we've got the wires are connected wrong. So we've got the wrong wires going to the sensor, so we're not showing what we need to show for at the ECM. So it's just in basically it's in limpo mode, right? Like it'll start, but it won't. So excuse me. Anyways, as I'm cutting the wires to change out and redo the pins for the pigtail that were put on, I found a problem. Okay, so on the harness, I pulled the harness apart and so that we could check the wires all the way back. I cut the wires off, the two wires. So our signal wire, when I checked it, let's see here, A, B, and C, right? We're supposed to check supply voltage A to B, and I had 0 voltage, so I checked it A to C, and I had it, which tells me that we've got pigtails in the wrong spot. So I verified positive and negatives, and so anyways, our signal wire needs to be on C. Our signal wire needs to be on C at the connector, and our positive and negatives need to be A and B, right? So you got your supply voltage. A being your supply, B being your return. So, but as you see, I had cut that wire off and I saw a little hint of green on the edge of it. So when I stripped the insulation, let's see if it'll focus. There we go. So right there is corrosion. So we are going to actually take some wire off of here. We're going to see how far up the wire the corrosion goes, and we may end up having to just change the wire all the way back to the ECM. So, but that right there would be an intermittent. That itself can cause an intermittent electrical issue, especially in a speed sensor like that. Your signal wires are going to be, you've got that on and off on a crank sensor. So there's the mag switch basically internally in that sensor that's going to turn on and off, and that gives you your RPM sensor in the engine for the engine. So, and so one of the other things was we couldn't isolate whether it was cold, warm, time frame, things like that. It was really just fairly random, and some days it would just run all day long without a problem. So that being said, we're gonna fix the wiring, try and get that corrosion out of it. We're gonna chase that corrosion all the way back as far as we have to and replace it. As you can see, the wild mess we have here in Oregon. Yesterday I tried getting to the machine and debris in the road, debris in the driveway, things like that. So we actually came up a different route today. They bladed there's 3 entrances in here. One of the ways is we can't truck off of it, so I didn't know I could use it yesterday, but that's fine. I came up today, was able to get in here. Yesterday was a little bit of a mess. We got stuck. hit the locker on the truck and it slid sideways, ended up in the ditch. So fortunately I'm pretty close to home. And then also with all the tow trucks running around yesterday, one of the local guys from Lily Pad Towing, thank you, shout out to you guys. He whipped around. He was headed back to the shop, and he saw me and just whipped in there and pulled the winch out and winched me up out of the ditch pretty easy. We were pretty close to the road. We were only about, I don't know, 5 feet. I think we only had to winch it like 3 feet, and I had traction again. So it was just one of those deals. Wintertime, we gotta battle it. Yeah, just part of being a field mechanic.